you. Hi, Glenn. Hello. Today won't be long because I said earlier that I was going to pick one night a week to go live, and I'm going to do that tonight. So I'll be live again today at 8 p.m. There's so much to talk about. Hello, we'll see if anyone else joins. Okay, we got a few more people. Yay, hello. Hello, everybody. How are you? Hello, good morning. Hey, Special K. Glenn, how are you, Sarah? I missed yesterday's chat. Have you seen Tom McDonald's new song? I didn't know he had a new song. I will have to look at that. I did not see his new song. I didn't know he had a new song. Hi, everybody. Holy cow, we have a lot of people. Cool. I wasn't planning on being too long today. I'm so glad we have a lot of people. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Yeah, it's called Ball. Someone said, what are your thoughts on Hindu National India? I don't know what you're referring to there. It's called Balloon. Yes, I did see balloons. Actually, I made a video about it. So if you go back, it should be on my Tom McDonald playlist, but I have a video about balloons. Do I game on Twitch? No. Modi. Hi, Steven. How are you? Let's chat. I won't be this evening. I said I was going to go live one day a week at 8 p.m. So I'm actually going to be live. Day is going really well. So I'm going to go live. I'm going to be live later on this evening. Nintendo Switch was what I meant. Nintendo Switch. I used to have a Nintendo. I had a Super Nintendo. I also had a Sega Genesis, which is pretty cool. I think we should bring back Sega Genesis. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I actually wanted to talk about Twitter really quick. So we'll talk about Twitter. We'll talk a little bit about the Ghislaine. What do you have for news? LOL. We're going to talk about Ghislaine a little bit, the Epstein trial. I'm going to talk more about that tonight because I think it's going to get a little more interesting today. And so this will be a quick one. We'll talk about Twitter, that. Give me 1 second. We'll see what's going on with Juicy Smoulier. And then that will be about it today. Okay, so Twitter. We talked about Twitter getting a new CEO, and a lot of people at first. So Jack Dorsey yesterday resigned from being the CEO of Twitter, and he named who the new CEO was going to be. And a lot of people, do you see senators? Oh, I'll have to look at that one. That might be, what kind of juice do you think? I don't know. I don't know which kind of juice he drinks. Okay, so this is actually quite alarming, and this is alarming for a really important reason. Have you heard about the WNBA salary? No, but that will be good for tonight. So let me, I'm going to be live again tonight at 8 p.m., so please join WNBA salary. So I'll put that for tonight. I'll look into that. Okay, so yesterday, so we'll talk about Twitter, talk a little bit about the Epstein trial, talk a little bit about Juicy Smoulier, and then that'll be it for smooshed kind of juice. That'll be it for this afternoon, and then I'll see you again at 8 p.m. If anyone is around at 8 p.m., come join. So, Twitter, yesterday, Jack Dorsey resigned from Twitter and a new CEO of Twitter was named. And at first, people saw Jack Dorsey resigning and they were like, oh, this is so fabulous because, yay, Jack Dorsey's resigning. Now it's going to be all different, freedom of speech. That is not what happened at all. Not at all. And we already have, so the new CEO is named and we already have a new rule. And this is very significant because, well, let me just tell you what the rule is. So under Twitter's new private media regulations, Twitter, so one of the first things he did was there's a new private media regulation on Twitter. And yes, Twitter is not the end all be all of social media. It's not the you know what I'm saying. It's not the one place that you go to for news clips or any of that. But Twitter has been, I will say, it's been a place where a lot of news has broken, a lot of things have been exposed, and Twitter, so this is where Kyle Rittenhouse broke. The video footage from Kyle Rittenhouse was coming. I think I told you all that from the very beginning. One of the reasons I've been so passionate and I've talked so much about the Kyle Rittenhouse case is because several of the guys, the independent journalists that were there filming what was happening with Kyle Rittenhouse, I was watching these video clips come out in real time as they were there on the ground filming the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing. And also, this is where it's where a lot of things get exposed, and they get exposed for the better. So now we have this brand new CEO of Twitter, and he already has a brand new rule, and it's a private media regulation where you can't share. I'm trying to find out, let's see here. Let's see, private media. So this new rule says you can't share anyone's face or anything like that without their consent. And the reason this is bad is because, yes, this is how we found out about Kyle Rittenhouse. This is how the truth about Kyle Rittenhouse came to be. So under Twitter's new private media regulation, we wouldn't have been allowed to post screenshots of Darrell Brooks' Facebook post. Oh, yes. Sarah, maybe they need to take the share button away. They just need to take everything away, man. Have you seen how robots can now reproduce? That's scary. So basically, this new rule is saying that you can't share anyone's face or anything like that without their consent, which really hurts independent media. And you are allowed, like if you're in a public space, you are allowed to film people and things like that. But a lot of people get exposed on Twitter and the internet because delete Facebook and Twitter. It's good for your health and health of the nation. Yes, I agree with that. It's bad, but I will say this social media and sharing things and sharing people's stories is how a lot of things get exposed. And this is what the corporate media is afraid of. So the entire Kyle Rittenhouse case was Kyle Rittenhouse. It was a case on self-defense, and it was also it was corporate media versus independent media, because if we only had corporate media, no one would have known the truth about Kyle Rittenhouse. No one. Corporate media was not there. It was independent journalists that were on the ground that were filming these things and that had all the footage that they were able to tell. Eva, stop. Eva. Oh, Eva, stop. No. My cat is driving me crazy. Eva, no. Oh my gosh. It's my cat. I have to close the door so my acoustics are better now. She's scratching the door. Eva, stop. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, she's done. If it was just corporate media, we would not have had that footage. They were not there. So it was a lot of different things. It was corporate media versus independent media. And a lot of these social media websites are how independent media gets the word out. It's how a lot of things get exposed. And so it's a little sad. Let's see if I can find out what this rule is exactly. Yeah, you can't share anything private without someone's consent, which isn't necessarily doxing. Hey guys. Yes, Evil Eva. Does anybody watch Gutfield? They talked about the super low percentage of people that use Twitter. It seems like popular, but really it's just a small group of people. There are a lot of other, the Supreme Court better not overturn or restrict Roe versus Wade, the case they're taking up. Cat dog. That was a really good show. Cat dog, cat dog, cat dog. Okay, so that is what is happening with Twitter. I actually want to look more into that because, yes, a small group of people use Twitter. But I will say some breaking things have come out of this platform and people sharing information on this platform. This just makes Twitter suck even more. All right, moving along. Okay, let's look at what's happening with Ghislaine Maxwell. So this is breaking. This is why I want to talk about this later tonight, because I want to see what happens in the case and talk about it. Maxwell, I pray, will go all the way. The pilot of the private jet right now is taking the stand. I just got my first signature of people boycotting Twitter. It's mine. Yeah, and to be honest, I like Twitter. I'm on it a lot. I get a lot of news from Twitter, actually. So that's kind of why I like it. Yes, Jeffrey Epstein's private pilot takes the stand, day 2. So her defense, at this point, her defense really doesn't have anything. They opened up saying that she was a woman and how people prosecute women in history. So this is what they're using. This is basically what the defense is, which means they basically have nothing. Woman most affected. Oh, okay, so this is the Twitter rule. So just in, Twitter bans sharing images or videos of private individuals without their consent. Just one day after CTO Parag Agrawal was named CEO. The misuse of private media can affect everyone, but it can have a disproportionate effect on, oh, I hate when people use this card. So the misuse of private media can affect everyone, but have a disproportionate effect on women, activists, descendants, and members of the minority community. They always use that card. So they're expanding their private information policy. So there's that. Only thing they have is exposing who is involved. Ooh, why is The View trending? She's going to use the Chewbacca argument. Good morning. Hello. It'll be quick today. Anyone watching, I'll be live at 8 p.m. Did they say it included elected officials? No, they did not say it included elected officials. I'm sure it does. But you have to understand, like, this is how, I don't know if you guys know, like, whenever we talk about teachers, so what, I feel like this is targeting specific accounts, libs of TikTok and stuff like that. This is how a lot of teachers have been exposed, because they'll post things on social media, which you have to understand, when you're posting on social media, it's public. I've learned it the hard way. I'm sure we all have. So a lot of teachers that have gotten fired, some of the things that we talk about, they've posted things publicly on social media, and it will get exposed, and then they get disciplinary action, so things like that. Anywho, let's move on. Juicy Smollett trial continues, with prosecution expected to bring CPD officer as first witness. Ooh. Okay, so they selected their jurors yesterday, had opening statements. Justin, The View said something dumb. Yes, that's exactly what happened. I couldn't figure out what happened on The View. I just randomly saw that they were trending. I was curious. Yes, they probably did say something dumb. Oh, Crowder had a great show this morning. Highly recommended. Awesome. I will watch that. You sound like you just graduated college. I did not just graduate college. Where are the trials being aired? So the Jussie Smollett trial and the Ghislaine Maxwell trial are not being aired. You can find audio. So if I can find those, I will link to them. There's audio for both of those, but they are not being aired. And that's what we were talking about yesterday, which is really interesting. Because we had Kyle Rittenhouse that was aired, just came here after Crowder. I heard it was a really good show. We had Kyle Rittenhouse that was aired, and George Floyd was aired, but these are not being aired. You can only find audio for both of them, which is quite odd, because the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, that's probably the biggest trial of my lifetime. Like, this is a huge deal, mostly because of the atrocities that happened, but also because of the amount of people that were involved. And that's why it's significant that this private pilot is taking the stand today. Okay, Smollett walked into the courthouse flanked by family members and attorneys and left Monday telling reporters, "You all enjoy the night." He listened quietly in court, wearing a dark double-breasted suit and tie. I don't care. Judge James Lynn asked potential jurors if they have been a victim of a hate crime and if they have watched Empire or TMZ. Jury selection is always really, really interesting to me. exactly. Yeah, we have evidence. And that was the odd thing. We talked about this yesterday. So he had charges against him right away because it was very clear that there was funny business going on. There was indication that he was lying, so they charged him originally, and then the state attorney abruptly dropped all the charges. Okay, someone said Ghislaine Maxwell won't be convicted, and Jussie Smollett won't be convicted either. I don't know. We'll see. So here's what's going on with Ghislaine. So I pulled this up. New York, the prosecution in the trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, the former girlfriend of convicted Jeffrey Epstein, said in its opening statement Monday, so here it is, that she was a dangerous person who was well aware of what she was doing, and she befriended minor girls for Epstein to do what he did. The jury heard opening statements Monday afternoon in Manhattan federal court, first from the prosecution and then from Maxwell's defense team. Each side offered a starkly different version of Maxwell and her role in this twisted world. Maxwell is charged with eight counts. I think yesterday we said it was 6. Maxwell is charged with 8 counts related to the trafficking of minors for over a decade-long period, 1994 and 2004, including trafficking minor, enticing a minor to travel and engage in illegal acts, and transporting minors with the intent to engage in criminal activity. A separate later trial will consider 2 perjury charges against her. Wow, so she's going to be charged with perjury and be on trial for that after all of this. I was actually, I was a juror in one case, and it was right after I turned 18 and right after I registered to vote. I was the juror on a case, and it was a perjury case. So they will get you for that. There was a separate case that had already been decided. They would not tell us the verdict of that case, but they were also charging the person involved in that case with perjury, saying that he lied on the stand. And in my case, we actually found him guilty of perjury, and they had evidence that this individual was lying when he was on the stand. So they will for sure come after you for perjury. The prosecution painted a picture of a pair of fully grown adults, Maxwell and Epstein, who were partners in crime and had a playbook for targeting young people. In her opening statement, prosecutor Laura Permantes emphasized that one of Maxwell's accusers was just 14 years old when she met Epstein and Maxwell, marking the beginning of a nightmare that would last for years. Both were more than double the minor's age. Maxwell helped normalize Epstein's bad conduct, and the prosecution said, in the case of the 14-year-old, that meant making it feel normal that a man in his 40s was unclothed around and doing things. She preyed upon vulnerable young girls and served them up for her man. In addition, although Maxwell procured the minor girls for the well-connected financier, Maxwell herself participated personally in some of the bad acts. Meanwhile, Maxwell fostered a culture of silence, working as his lady of the house, taking care of multiple residences, making hiring, firing decisions regarding his staff, and laying down the strict rules. So they're basically arguing that she knew exactly what happened, she was involved, and she was responsible for normalizing all of this, making the girls feel comfortable so Epstein could do what he did. According to the state, Maxwell lured the minors by befriending them, taking them on shopping trips to the movies. She made the young girls believe that their dreams could come true. And I don't know if you watched the documentaries, but they targeted young, like very poor, vulnerable girls, which is very interesting. I've noticed that a lot of people do this, and we'll get more into this tonight. She's complicit, exactly. We'll get more into this tonight, but people are very smart with who they target. They will typically target lower income people because they feel like they have more power over you and you're not going to say anything. And I've noticed this time and time and time again with people that do something like this. They will target low income, very vulnerable people that have issues or have other things going on because you are more likely to be susceptible to whatever they're doing. Hi, Texan. I told you she targeted vulnerable young girls. Guys, I told you exactly what they target, and we'll get more into this tonight, but I actually worked at a place where nothing like this happened, nothing underage happened, but I stopped working there. This person would take advantage of girls that would work for this company, and it was always, we'll get more into it, but it was always like young girls who were lower income, and that's who this individual would target because he would get away with it. And it was nothing illegal, it was just wrong, morally wrong, but not illegal, not underage people like this. But I would notice, and it's exactly what they're saying right now is exactly what I told you. She targeted vulnerable young girls who had single mothers or were in financial need and portrayed herself as the girls as a respectable adult woman they would trust, while in reality, she was getting them ready for these acts. She and Epstein perpetrated on them, the prosecution said. Epstein and Maxwell paid the minor girls hundreds of dollars in cash, and Maxwell even mailed outfits to the girls 15 years old. This befriending the girls and getting them to trust them resulted in some of the most painful and private experiences in these girls' childhoods, these girls are saying. They're arguing that she knew exactly what she was doing. So it says here, Maxwell appeared relaxed in the courtroom on Monday wearing a cream-colored sweater with long sleeves and black pants. She let her face mask dangle as she whispered to her attorneys and drank coffee and water. At one point, she clasped her hands together cheerfully as she discussed something with one of her attorneys. During the prosecution's opening statement, Maxwell stopped taking notes and sat very still, turning slightly toward the jury when she was left sitting there by herself. And again, so they're arguing that they don't have much of an argument, but they're arguing that in history, people have targeted women and women are the victims, blah, blah, blah. So that is what is going on with that. I hope Kyle makes millions. Yes, we'll be paying attention to that. There was sort of a fake news story over the weekend that he was suing Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar for millions, for $60 million. And although I would have liked to see that, that story was not true. But I do believe that he will be suing individuals. We just don't know what's happening yet. Okay, so that's it for right now. I just really wanted to tell you guys that we'll go more into Ghislaine Maxwell. We'll go more into Juicy Smollett tonight. And there were a few questions. Somebody asked, let's see, WNBA salary. So I'll look into that. Oh, they make a lot of money. Okay, I'll look into that. And anything else, Kyle will be compensated. Yes, absolutely he will. And we were talking yesterday about ASU Juicy. Senator Sheehan tonight. Okay, let me make a note of that. So Senator Sheehan. Okay, so I'll look into that for tonight. What time tonight? It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern time. So 8 p.m. Eastern time, I will be live. I'll be on for a long time, so we'll go more in depth with all of that. This was just announcing that I will, because I think I told you guys that I was going to be live on Wednesday night, but I got my schedule wrong. 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight, I'll be live. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments of this video after it posts, and then I'll look into all of those things tonight, because I feel like there's going to be a lot to talk about. Biden first, please. Okay. You want to talk about Biden? We'll talk about Biden. That's a mess. All right. Okay, that's everything tonight, but I will be paying attention to this trial. We'll be paying attention to Juicy Smoulier. I have the questions that you all posted, and there's that Brandon, the Brandon administration. All right, you all. Well, I will see you tonight, 8 p.m. tonight. I'll bring the cats. We'll bring the ukulele. It'll be a party. And we'll just chit chat. Okay, you guys, thank you for joining this afternoon, and I will see you tonight. It was a quick one this afternoon, but tonight will go a lot longer. Someone tried taking a video. I don't know what you're talking about, man. All right, you all, well, I will see you later tonight, and bring a drink. We'll be on for longer, and we'll talk about these cases. Hopefully we'll have some interesting updates, 7 p.m. in Texas. Okay, yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, you all, I will see you later. Bye.